Alright, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking another look at the warrior in WoW Classic Hardcore. Seems to be drawing the most interest, so what I wanted to do was come up with a more helpful video for the warrior than what I did previously. So if you like this kind of content, be sure to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz, and we'll just jump right on into this. So as far as tips for leveling a warrior in WoW Classic Hardcore, the first one I want to talk about comes pretty much as soon as you make your character, right? Um, what race you make a warrior makes a bigger difference than pretty much any other class, right? If you're playing Alliance, human, and if you're playing Horde, orcs. I know there are some really good um, racial traits for some of the other races, but the simple fact of the matter is none of it will compare to the weapon mastery rate traits that the humans and the orcs get. So basically, if you're a human, it's swords and maces. If you're an orc, it's axes. But when you are using the right kind of weapon with those races, you're basically a level higher than you are for the purposes of combat. You're, say you're level 5, if you're using an axe with an orc like I am in this video, as far as the combat is concerned, you are level 6. You're going to have less misses, less dodges, parries, all that. You'll be, as far as how likely you are to hit the target with each swing, you're basically a level higher than you actually are. So those other bonuses you can get from other races are nice, but they will never compare to the weapon mastery that you get from playing as one of those races. So right off the bat, before you even make your warrior, this is one of the biggest advantages you can give yourself, is by which race you pick. So another thing that you can settle even before you start your warrior is find a friend who is wanting to level a priest, or, well, anything else, but the priest just works really well with the warrior. They'll give you fortitude, renews. You really don't want the shields all that much except in an emergency, but priest is also a single target class as well, so pairing up with a warrior can speed the priest up as well. And honestly, this is the most fun way to play a warrior. You really don't have to worry as much about taking damage and whatnot. You'll be able to pull basically as much as you want and do some truly ridiculous things when you're playing in a group like this, that neither class can really manage on their own. The warrior is one of it's a really boring class to play by yourself, because if you happen to pull more than you can handle on a warrior, you just don't really have many tools to get yourself out of that situation. Especially early on, the only crowd control ability that you like, anything of the sort, is hamstring. So running away is, you know, that's about all you can do, and hope that you can get away from them. Um, if you have to go into a group, it's bad. But the other thing I really will stand with as well is I really do not suggest the warrior be your first character that you're leveling. You know, go through, um, level something else up and stay, 10 levels ahead of your warrior. That way you'll be, any gear that drops, you'll be able to send to your warrior. It'll end up making it easier for you. Um, as well as the fact that as soon as you make a warrior, you're going to need 10 silver to send to your warrior just to train thrown or, bow skill, gun skill. I don't really care which one you decide to go for, but you need some kind of ranged attack with your warrior so you'll be able to pull mobs out of a group one at a time for those cases where if you just charged in, it would be too much and you would just end up dying if you charged in. So that's a big thing. There is, I really don't suggest playing a warrior as your first character. They are one of the most expensive classes to level by far because you need a new weapon all the time, right? So go ahead and level something else so you can send yourself some money and some weapons, because otherwise it's going to be just a pain. In this footage I'm showing in the background, I had sent this warrior a level 6 required one-handed axe that I had found. And at level 6, I mean, it just feels amazing. But within 2 levels, that's not going to be the case anymore. It's not going to be that great anymore. You'll see how it will make less of an impact the longer you keep the same weapon. If you keep it for 3 levels, it's going to suck even worse. If you keep it for 4 or 5 levels without upgrading that weapon, you are going to hate yourself. I mean, that's just all there is to it. So, yeah, try and keep another character about 10 levels ahead, and try and keep sending your warrior weapons as you go along, because if you can't find new weapons while you're leveling, it's going to turn from one of the most fun experiences, especially if you're playing with a friend. That's one of the most fun experiences in the game, but if you don't have regular weapon upgrades, it's going to turn into just horrible gameplay. It's going to take you longer to kill each mob, and they're going to do more damage to you the longer you go on, and it's not a great situation. Okay, so we've got that. I think I mentioned it in the other video, but level your first aid, level your cooking. First aid especially is going to save you, even if you are playing in a buddy, or playing with a buddy that can heal you. You still need first aid. There are going to be situations where you need to heal yourself, because you'll have pulled too much for your buddy to be able to manage, or won't have the mana to heal you at the time, or whatever. It happens. So first aid is huge. Cooking, you want to keep the food bonuses active all the time. So, I mean, I know it takes a lot of time to grind those professions up, but it is definitely worth it, especially on a warrior where that's the only buffs you're really gonna get for yourself. Professions, I 100% recommend you taking alchemy over anything else. Regular WoW Classic, I would say, blacksmith, engineering, both good choices. But in hardcore, 100% go alchemy. You need the potions. The elixirs can be extremely helpful, especially early on. That week's troll blood potion can be really nice while you're leveling. Having your own supply of potions, though, is huge. Before long, you'll be able to get the rage potions. That's actually a pretty big help. You can pre-pot before you run into a group and have, a couple heroic strikes just as soon as you get there. Swiftness potions are really good to have for the warrior. If your only way to get out of a situation is to run away, have a couple swiftness potions so you can run away faster. That's definitely there. When it comes to moving from area to area, I really like using my charge to cut down on the time, as well as I'll charge an enemy that's along the road, and then strafe and be attacking them the whole time. It's a little extra experience when you're moving from area to area, and the charge kind of maybe it doesn't actually speed you up that much, but at least having something to do instead of just mindlessly running the whole time. I find that the travel time doesn't bother me as much if I'm doing something like that. Be really careful about trying to stay a level ahead of the quest mobs that you're going for. For instance, like I'm here in Duratar on this orc, right? So after I finish Duratar, after I hit like level 10, I won't go to the Barrens. Don't go straight to the Barrens. Not on a warrior. Go ahead and go to Undercity. Do a few quests there. Get you a couple levels over in Undercity before you go on to the Barrens. You always need to be a level or even two ahead of the quest targets that you're working on. Just makes it easier to kill them, makes them do less damage to you, makes it faster to kill them. You're going to get through the quest faster that way. And that will negate the increase in travel time that you get from having to travel around like that. But it is like the warrior is very unforgiving. You don't want to be stuck with quest targets that are higher level than you are. And if you don't want to travel, just find a hyper spawn location and just sit there and farm until you get another level or two. Sometimes it only takes like a quarter of a level or so for you to get a little bit ahead. Go ahead and get the level. Sometimes it'll take longer, but it is worth doing. Let's see. Oh, right. Uh, every I was going to talk about your weapons. You want to keep all your gear updated, right? But your weapons especially. And the reason I was saying that is because all of your weapon abilities, all of your damaging abilities, scale off your weapon strength. It doesn't. None of the abilities you have are going to do a set amount of damage other than Rend and Thunderstomp or Thunderclap. Can't remember the name of it. But those are the only ones that do a set amount of damage. Everything else is scaling off your weapon. So 100% repeating myself, but it is definitely that important. Always be updating your weapons. Always be upgrading your weapons. You're always wanting them to get more damage out of your weapons. Um, yeah, that's all I can think of. So, good luck out there in your warriors. If I forgot anything, be sure to leave me a comment. Just leave me a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz. Anyways, and I'll see you in the next one.